Welcome, Impactful Parents. It's time for the Impactful Parenting Podcast, where I give you parenting tips and resources to make you a more impactful parent to your school-age child. I am your host, Christina Campos. It's been a long day, and I'm exhausted. All I want is to rest on the couch for 5 minutes before I deal with the kids. And instead, I walk into the house and I'm greeted with a crying child, another kid screaming, "Mom, she took my charger," and a spouse who says, "Great, you're home. We need to get going to the next game." What? I lost it. Went berserk, lost it. All my self-control went out the window, and before I knew it, I was yelling at everybody, even the baby. Well, we all make mistakes, but saying sorry is actually a skill. We all have received an apology that we didn't accept because we knew that the wrongdoer didn't mean it. And most of us have even given an apology that we didn't mean either. But if we really want to mend a hurt relationship and feelings, how do we do this? And more importantly, how do we teach this to our kids? Well, hello, my name is Christina Campos. I'm founder of The Impactful Parent, and every week I give you parenting videos that are going to help you in your parenting journey. If you have a particular topic or parenting question about your school-age child that you would like for me to address, please submit it at theimpactfulparent@gmail.com or by messaging me on social media. And all submissions are kept anonymous. Now, today I'm going to teach you how to apologize, because not all apologies are created equal. If you're ready to mend a relationship or want to teach your child how to apologize, then this episode is for you. I'm going to explain the crucial steps of a good apology, and then stick around to the end because this episode, it's going to improve your relationships with everyone, including your children. So let's get started. All right, there's a few things that you need to do before you actually say the words, "I'm sorry." So, how to apologize before you say you're sorry? The first step is you need to focus on the impact of your actions and not the intent. Why? Because 99% of the time, you didn't mean to hurt anyone. You never intended to purposely make somebody feel bad or mad or frustrated. And that is why you will not focus on the intent of your actions. You didn't mean it. But instead, you need to focus on the impact of your actions. If you yelled at your kids, you must consider, how did that make them feel? If you worked late and you left your spouse at home with the kids a little too long, how did that affect your partner? And yeah, it doesn't matter that you worked late so that you could pay the bills. I'm sure you had a good reason for whatever happened, but you need to stop justifying your actions and consider how your actions have affected others. And then the second part to how to apologize before you say you're sorry is you got to own up to your part in whatever happened. Not theirs, yours. See, once you can admit that your actions hurt someone, then you can own to your part. This step gets a little messy when someone has hurt you too, and the disconnect and the argument happens between two or more people, and it's gone back and forth. However, you have to focus on what you did and what you said, not them. I get it. You're likely hurt too. You probably reacted to them and have a lot of hurt feelings yourself. But the bottom line is, if you want to mend a relationship, someone has to step up and make the first move. I hope that your maturity can take the first step of owning your part in the situation and prompting the other person to do the same. But in the end, you can't control them. You can only do your part. Now let's get to the apology. How to apologize, step 1. You have to admit to your offense. Now that we're getting into the actual words of how to speak your apology, before we can continue, let's clarify that just because that you're admitting to hurting your loved one, it doesn't mean that you did it purposefully. However, for your loved one to heal, they need to hear you say what you could have done better. out loud. They need you to speak how you actually wronged them. So say something like, I'm sorry that I blank. Examples of this might be, I'm sorry that I yelled at you. I'm sorry that I ignored you. I'm sorry that I didn't take your opinion into consideration. Then, step 2, spell out why you want to apologize. Tell your loved one why it's important to you that you want to mend the relationship. So say something like, I want to apologize for what I did because blank. This might sound like, I want to apologize for what I did because I see I really hurt you and that doesn't make me feel good either. I want to apologize for what I did because I love you and I never intended to hurt you. I want to apologize for what I did because I feel terrible and your friendship means a lot to me. Then, step 3 of this apology, you're going to admit that you could have handled it differently. This is where you need to be the bigger person and admit that you could have done a better job. You admitted to having made a mistake in handling the situation, and it doesn't matter why you made that mistake. I am sure that you are perfectly justified in how you reacted. However, this goes back to you needing to step up and take the first steps of the high road because someone needs to do it. And you care about the relationship enough to do that. So say something like, I wish I would have blank, but instead I didn't. And I know I hurt you. Now, it's important to add, I know I hurt you, because your loved one needs to feel like you understand the consequences of your actions. So this might sound something like, I wish I had kept my cool, but I didn't. I yelled, and instead I hurt you. I'm sorry. I wish I paused momentarily to listen to you, but instead I hurt you. I'm sorry. I wish I had walked away when we had started arguing, but instead I said hurtful things that I didn't mean, and that hurt you. I'm sorry. Then the next step of this apology is to acknowledge the other person's hurt and let them talk about their feelings. Now, this step is crucial. Your loved one needs to vent. This is important because they need to make sure that you understand how badly you hurt them. Unfortunately, this becomes the hardest step of all because you will need just to sit there and listen and take in the information and just nod your head. You can't get defensive. In fact, you need to validate their feelings. Your loved one won't accept your apology completely unless they feel that you understand their pain. Period. Your natural reaction will be to defend yourself and to justify your actions, but you can't. This is their time to talk. And for this apology to work, you will need to listen and take note of the words that they use to describe their pain. This is especially important for men who express their hurt feelings by saying things like, you disrespected me, or you didn't listen to me. And then acknowledge your loved one's pain using the same words that they used to describe it. For example, it might sound like, I understand that I disrespected you. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. I know that I ignored you. I understand that you didn't feel heard. I'm sorry. Or, I understand I hurt your feelings. I'm sorry. And then the next step to this apology is that you have to express regret. Expressing regret is best done in your tone of voice because how you say I'm sorry and all the things noted in steps 1 through 4 need to be told in a tone of voice that expresses sadness. If you don't express your regret for your actions using the right tone, then everything you said before won't do any good. Your loved ones will feel like you don't regret your actions and really everything you just did was just a waste of time. You need to have a heartfelt apology And this usually comes in your tone of voice. Now, that's how you apologize. And those are the steps that you can take your kids through so you can teach them how to make an appropriate apology that's actually effective. But there are a few times when apologies just won't be accepted, no matter what you do. And I want to note those really quickly because unfortunately, it's going to happen. And this isn't about you at all. It's about the other person receiving the apology. And there are two notable times to be aware of when your apology is going to fall on deaf ears. The first one, when the other person is just not willing to forgive you because they just don't value the relationship anymore. They don't value it, and so they're going to use whatever happened as an excuse to move on and go away. The second time that your apology may not work is if a person has their identity wrapped around and created by the hurt feelings that happened to them. So if their identity is wrapped around all of those hurt actions, then taking away those hurt actions can sometimes leave that person in a state of chaos and wonder because you've just taken away their identity, so they don't want to accept your apology. Now, learning to apologize so that you can mend relationships with your loved ones is so important to your family. Once you learn how to apologize effectively, then you can role model those behaviors and then teach them to your children, which ultimately, that's exactly what I want you to do. If this information was valuable for you today, become a more impactful parent by downloading the Impactful Parent app. The Impactful Parent app is free and full of episodes just like this one to help you in your parenting journey. Because investing in your family looks like learning the warning signs of certain behaviors so that you can stop things before they start, and discovering new parenting techniques to make your parenting more effective. And it's also joining a community of like-minded parents who just want to be the best parent they can to their child. Because all of this and so much more can be found inside the Impactful Parent app. So download it today. You got nothing to lose. It's free. So go to theimpactfulparent.com or your app store and discover how you can step up your parenting game and become a more impactful parent. But until next time, you got this. I'm just here to help. Thank you for listening today. Remember to subscribe and share this podcast with a friend. And don't forget, the Impactful Parenting Podcast is an extension of the Impactful Parent community. Go to the Impactful Parent website and download the free Impactful Parent app so you don't miss a parenting tip that can help you and your family. Thanks for listening today. So go to theimpactfulparent.com and see you next episode.